1, 2, 3, 4. Oh my cheek. 4.
One. So I think you'll let him catch up. Rajesh, our committee members. I asked heads our entertainment.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm good. I got to know that you are coming in.
Yeah. Amit unfortunately could not. So he's in Delhi today.
He's in Delhi. Right.
वो आने पाए so.
In fact, so great last time. How are you?
I was abroad since then.
Oh, you were abroad since then.
I came from
business and
WTC.
HR methodology.
Come over anything. So that is more. Yeah. We do there, we do at the Tote bar, we take out the Tote bar. I didn't go. I didn't go. I met
मैंने कहा मधुबनी आज
Did you get the pain separate?
no nothing not anything
raining.
कभी आ रहा है
So that gave us the idea. So something
right now what Subhash is saying
May I have the attention, please? Good evening, everyone. May I have the attention, please? Please be seated. We are about to commence the program. Please, Mr. Ghai is already here, the man of great aura, of great eminence and stature. He is with us already. Please be seated, and we will start the program in 2 minutes. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, sir. Thank you indeed.
I welcome our eminent speaker to this evening. He has braved everything today. You know, all the television channels said, don't go out, go home. Wherever you are, if you are at home, stay home. But here we are with him. Wonderful. Thank you, sir, so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you indeed.
I am not going to introduce him because I think all of you know him so well. It really doesn't need introductions. But besides that, there are two people following me who know him even better than me, much better. They are going to do the introductions, if at all any required. So along with this evening, IBG is launching its entertainment vertical. It's film, television and music. Unfortunately, the head of this vertical, Kadrita Mohini, is in the lockup. By lockup, I mean she is in the big boss house. Big boss bungalow. She's there last 1 month and probably another 2 months if she stays on till the end. So we're doing it without her. It's a platform for films, music, TV industry, which is now a very big business in India. We all know it. And soon it's going to be amongst, not only in India, it's going to be one of the biggest in the world. The way it seems to be going. My committee told me today, please talk a bit less. Cut it because we also need time to talk. So I'm going to hand it over very soon, but give me a few minutes. coming back briefly to Mr. Ghai, we all need to applaud his innumerable achievements for this industry, in this industry, to this industry, which he has dominated for so long. I mean, he's been just simply number one. The crowning glory, finally, in my opinion, in my eyes, is the institute that he set up, and that's something that is going to stay far beyond him. You know, probably the next 100 years, the Whistling Woods Institute. I've been told that they're doing absolutely great work. I do want to go in and see once for myself. If he cares to invite me, I'd love to do that. There's just one thing which I don't know and which I feel is the need of the day as far as an institute like that is concerned. And I stand to be corrected if I'm wrong. The call of the day today is to have also courses or a curriculum based on Hollywood. Maybe tie up with a studio there, the Fox Studios or some, so that students coming out from that course can easily get jobs there, that side. I wonder whether you already have something like that, sir. But I think that is certainly called for. Besides that, I've been told that now it's the premier institute of this country. And the demand for courses there is, it far outstrips possible supply. If you call it demand, we are business people, no? So demand and supply things we talk about. IBG is also now going international. We are setting up the international wing very soon. As far as Bollywood is, as far as entertainment is concerned, we are going to call ourselves the bridge between Hollywood and Bollywood, to put it simplistically. It means Indian film industry and the international film industry. IBG is already tied up with about 7 film commissions around the world. Paris, London, and 4 in US, and 1 somewhere else. So this is something that will take us forward. Because there is a lot of crossover. And when I say crossover, I don't mean crossover films. There's a lot of demand from overseas for people, actors, and all other technicians wanting to come and work in India. So, maybe we can create a pathway both ways. We'll be working on that. We'll report back to you on this later. I'd like to ask Dilip now to take over from me, because he particularly told me, sir, please, cut it short. I want to have more time this time. Where are you, Dilip?
Thank you, sir. Thank you indeed. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It couldn't be a better honor than this for me to introduce 2 legends on the dais, very well-known people around. And before I go forward, I also want to say that Mr. Ghai's daughter and his son-in-law are also here with us. They also need a big round of applause. Meghna, if you like, and Rahul Puri. Sorry about that, I'm a little excited. Today is a special day for us, as said, at IBG. We have the privilege of introducing 2 well-known personalities from the media and entertainment domain. We will introduce Mr. Parigi and will then would request him to do us a favor of introducing his friend, Mr. Subhash Ghai. Friends, Mr. Parigi has had a very distinguished background, having held leadership positions in several industries including infrastructure, telecom, media and entertainment. We believe it will suffice to just mention he is a member of Board of Directors of Times of India, member of Board of Directors of various other large institutions around, and also part of news channel, member of the Business Advisory Council of the Oxford University Business School. Even more interestingly, in his evening context, in his role as a producer of cult English film Being Cyrus. And I now request Mr. Parigi to do the honor of introducing the man himself, Mr. Subhash Ghai. Mr. Parigi, thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is possibly one of those those evenings, which is very special to me. You always get to introduce acquaintances and celebrities who one may not personally relate to, but more as customary. So I thought I'll spend a little time sharing my experiences, my view on Subhash as a friend. But that will take a couple of days.
Story.
A big hand for Mr. Subhash Ghai, please, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you indeed.
Good evening, all of you. It's a wonderful moment for me to be here and being honored by all the august people of this country, the responsible people of this country. I'm really honored and thank you all, and thank you everyone here on the dais for inviting me to be part of this interactions, actually, not a speech, because I'm very scared of speeches, because it has to be a dialogue, not a speech. Am I right? Because we write dramas. The dramas there are two characters who talk, not one character who talks. So there has to be exchange of dialogues between us. But having said that, Mr. Parigi has really spoken so high word that I'm really overwhelmed and embarrassed rather of such a relation. And I don't deserve that. I'm still a student. I was a student, I'm still a student, and I have to learn a lot from all of you, from the various sectors of society, the people. To be precise, my name is Subhash Ghai. I came here to Bombay in 1968 with dreams. I was a student of commerce in Delhi, and my father was a doctor. And I was very keen in playing dramas, dance, music right from my school age, which my father never approved and never liked it. Because that time this was not a job-oriented habits or traits. In 50s, 40s, they were very smart businessmen that time. After the politicians were making constitutions, I was told that the Prime Minister of this country, the first Prime Minister of the country, asked some business people what kind of education we should give to the children. What should we produce? And there was a suggestion and recommendation that this country we should educate our children to be chartered accountant, to be engineer, lawyer, security, defense, IAS, and doctors. So there were 6 professions which were recommended, and the education textbooks were designed accordingly. And it was given to the primary school, higher secondary school, colleges. That क्या करेंगे? What will they do? नौकरी मिलेगी उनको. किनकी नौकरी करेंगे? Businessmen की. There was no course for the business enterprises. There was no course for the cinema or the cultural development. There was no course of a political development. Only those courses were recommended which were beneficial to the businessmen and few houses, because they wanted people to serve their companies. It was very late in the 60s when Mr. Nehru thought of the technology and IT was introduced. And later on in 80s, 70s, when the entrepreneur was a word introduced, that our child can be entrepreneur also. He can be a businessman also. Why not? And that's how all of you are here. So we have been having various facets, various zones and time and eras of educating our children. And that's what we are here. So I was a student of a commerce, and my father wanted to be a chartered accountant, and I did my BCom, but I used to write, direct plays, music during my university days, and I got so many awards, but I did not have the courage to tell my father that I'm interested in this kind of art form. He says, no, chartered accountant, and I hate accountancy. I hate even the business. So one day he asked me, what do you want to become after I graduated commerce? I said, listen, Dad, I want to go to movies. He was shocked. Movies? Do you know somebody in Bombay? Do you know something about movie? I said, yeah, I know, but I want to go there. I had a courage, and that time, we used to really respect our parents so much that it was very tough for us to talk to parents. They were very more of a Hitler kind of father. Yes. So I took a courage and told him that I want to go to Bombay. And to my shock and surprise, he picked up one newspaper and asked me to read this. And what I saw was there, the applications are invited by the Film Institute of Pune for actors, aspirants in acting and direction. And he looked at him, he looked at me. If you want to go to any profession, go to a proper school, educate yourself, and then meet your employers, so that they should know that you are serious about it, that you have spent 2 years, 3 years. And I was there. Later on I asked him, why did you change your mind? Then he told me that he met my principal of my college in a party, and both were drinking together. And the principal insisted, my father, you must send Subhash to movie industry. I am telling you, doctor. Yes. So that is why I changed my mind. So then I went to Pune Institute and I learned cinema and world cinema. I joined an acting course, but I had applied for acting and direction both. But they said, you're a good actor. Why did you join acting? I said, I want to stay here. Whatever you want to say, give me course, I will do that. But finally I learned direction there also, and Ritvik Ghatak, the filmmaker, was our teacher. And I learned a lot. And that's how I understand the importance of education, even in a specialized job. And it changed my life. It changed my understanding of cinema. It made me a serious thinker, that how to translate a play or a story into a cinema. And what cinema means. It seems to be an entertainment media, but there's a lot of other things latent, inherent, where you influence your society, where you influence your children with the new thoughts. Cinema, fortunately and unfortunately, has been an ambassador of India to other countries. If you look at it, the Indian diaspora abroad is united majorly because of cinema. They could always see what kind of people we are and how we are growing. Cinema is always a huge device for any country to express its culture, values, tradition. When I came to Bombay, cinema was the only entertainment. This was called mass media, mass entertainment they used to call it. And that's how the mainstream cinema was there. There was not much of theaters, and we had a lot of limitation to be creative and to excel in creativity, because it was patronized majorly by 80% masses. In the beginning, though, it was also very offensive for a middle-class family to go to movies. but later on they started going to movies. And today, 80%, the clientage, 80% of audience is a class audience. 20% is mass. Now it has gone reverse. So I could see the economic development, the pattern of cinema changing, the pattern of people changing, and generation by generation. So I would say I am blessed that I was in touch with the three generations, my senior one and my contemporary and our new children. I am interacting with them. Cinema is very powerful media. But what is cinema? Cinema is a reflection of society. What you are, we present. What were the values in 40s? एक दोस्त के लिए जान देता था, पड़ोसी के लिए जान देता था. अभी क्या सिनेमा है, पड़ोसी की जान लेता है, दोस्त की जान लेता है. क्योंकि जो सोसाइटी बदल गई है, तो सिनेमा भी बदल गया है. पहले हीरोइन जो थी हमारी दोस्त नहीं होती थी, सीधा हीरोइन होती थी. दो ही लड़कियां होती थी. एक बहन होती थी फिल्म में, एक हीरोइन होती थी. यानी इससे वो शादी करेगा और ये इसकी बहन है. अभी वो दोस्त भी है, क्रिएटिव में वो दोस्त बन गया है कि मैं शादी नहीं करूंगी लेकिन तुम्हारी दोस्त बन के रहूंगी. और अभी दोस्त की दोस्त से भी मोहब्बत हो जाती है, फिर उससे हो जाती है, वो उसको भी छोड़ने के लिए तैयार है. और एक कहता है कि मैरिज रजिस्ट्रेशन में क्या रखा है, दूसरा बोलता है फ्लर्टेशन इज योगा. Double the other business, I would say. The way in a sector of education, the exhibition, production, digital media, social media, digitization, it has now a huge thing. Now the world is coming closer. But what is not improving at the moment is still the content. Technology has improved a lot. I remember in 2001 when I had made more 16 movies by that time, and out of 16 movies my 40 movies were hit, and I was in a very good position that time. And that was a time when I really thought, because I introduced many newcomers and I could empathy and I could have a sympathy and compassion with the newcomers coming from the small towns and from the people who do not belong from the film industry, who do not have a family to support them or to groom them. That time, and I remember my picture, Hero in 1983, you're talking about, was a big hit. So I could see that so many newcomers came to my office that we want a chance, we want an opportunity, we have a talent. But nobody wants us because either they want their sons or they want the stars. I used to make one film in 1.5 years. I said, I cannot adjust all of you. That time in 1983, I applied. Because I struggled for 6-7 years myself as a struggler. Before I became a writer, then I became a director, then I became a producer, then I had a company of Mukhtar's, then I became a businessman. So that time I applied to the government that I want a piece of land where I can have a library, the film library, the film books, because it's finally an education of its own. So all these strugglers must go there, and there should be few classes or workshops where the experts must come and interact with the students, because ये बेचारे सब बाहर घूमते रहते हैं, सिर्फ काम मांगते हैं और गुरुम करने वाला इनको कोई नहीं है. And for the last 100 years, every filmmaker had set up the studios for his children. Guru Dutt, Vishantaramji, Raj Kapoor, all these people have made studios whenever they make money. But, sometimes a noble thought comes to you, maybe that you depend later on, that's a different thing. Sometimes noble thought comes, कि नहीं करना चाहिए, I must give back to my society and kind of thing. So, मैंने apply किया, apply के बाद, then the application rolled on as the government is. From 1983 to 1991, again I reapplied, and Mr. Dilip Kumar and Sunil Dutt went to Chief Minister with me that Mr. Ghai really wants to open a school. So at least the government must give him a land, and he wants to put all his money in his life on him. Oh, this is very good, very good. We'll look into the matter. Film school hota kya hai lekin? They are asking me. ऐसा जो पूना में इंस्टीट्यूट में, हाँ, लेकिन कौन कौन एक्टर बना वहां से? They were so silly questions. The highest authorities of our country. I could see the ignorance, even the policymakers. I could see the ignorance, even the highest authorities of our country. They think the film school means actor पैदा करते हैं. Film school produces thinkers. Film school produces directors, cinematographer, writers, editors, not only actors. So I said, okay, fine, this is what the way we have to live there. And then in 2000, when, of course, in 91 the economy grew, and 2000 I turned my company into public listed company, telling my investors that main reason why I am coming here to public listed company is that I want to open a big institute, because you are talking about the high figure and presentation by FICCI and CIA and Youngs and this, we are so and so KPMG, but I can see the figures, but I am worried about it. Who is going to write the story? You are all talking about the business. Who is writing, going to give a content to us? Unless until we have a pool of talent, unless we groom our younger generation, coming generations, we cannot run this business. These are only figures. It is for investors and it is all for the stock market and shareholder and everything. But I think we are talking something wrong. And I knew that industry is going to grow in a big way. Whatever the figures we see today, I also predicted as a producer, as a chairman of a company, that this is going to grow. But we need that. And I approached my government. I said, this is a time when we should open at least 10 film schools in this country, television and museums, so that you can improve your content. And finally, you are going to be responsible. You are talking about the cultural development of this country, which is deteriorating. This entertainment business is going to influence a lot on your people's mind and younger generation mind. So it is better you take care of now. See that we have got thousands of stories from our Indian culture. Otherwise, children will be aping nothing but the Western stories and glamour and MTV culture, and we will be ruined. Anyway, I was talking and he was listening. He asked me, "आप चाय में शक्कर कितनी लेते हैं?" चाय में शक्कर कितनी लेते हैं? मैंने बोला जी एक ही लेता हूँ. So this is how my interaction as a dramatist, as a storyteller, have been with the various people over there. So now you see the media, you see now the tabloid culture coming in television, tabloid culture coming even in the news, even in the newspapers. We are all sold out because we want to grow our figures from here to here to here to here. At what cost we are doing? What cost? We are encouraging FDI, we are encouraging so many things because we need more money. At the cost of that we are selling our culture. We, in the name of being international, we want to be more of a Western than Indian. Am I right? We say we are international. The international is a great word. But we are Indian international. Not only international means that because I speak good English, or I have my office in New York and I have so much partners all over the world. So let me make money. The difference between today and yesterday is the huge. पहले हम बोलते थे चलो मेहनत करते हैं या पैसा कमाते हैं. पैसे कैसे कमाते हैं? एक छोटा धंधा करते हैं, फिर ये करेंगे, फिर इसमें थोड़ा, फिर 20% प्रॉफिट मिलेगा, ये होगा. पैसा कमाते हैं. व्हाट इज द वर्ड टुडे? पैसा बनाते हैं. पहले पैसा कमाते थे हमारे माँ बाप, आज हम पैसा बनाते हैं. We used to earn money. Last decade, now we have started thinking we should make money, not earn money. At any cost. Greed is good. Growth is important. What? And finally, doctors are flourishing because a lot of youngsters are coming to them, have the heart attack, stress level, EMI, all that kind of thing. And finally it is happening. So we are selling our souls, we are selling our everything. So this is my, I would say, the agony of this entertainment business. But having said that, again, we are discovering a lot of new talent in the country. Now, the entertainment business no more only cinema. Now you could see in reality shows, a lot of singers, a lot of children are given opportunities. We have 100,000 of screenings now. Now we have been given the opportunity of see every kind of cinema. French cinema, Indian cinema, parallel cinema, this kind of concept-oriented stories, mainstream stories. So a lot of opportunities for us is there. But my say is that we must educate our children in the right direction if we want to retain the sanctity of this country. I'm making a film called Kanchi. There is one dialogue which I must tell you. It's a story about a girl who, from innocence, from ignorance to innocence, to come to awareness, she wakes up and comes to know about the society. And she wonders, my father used to talk about India different, now it's different. She says, finally, वो कहता है कि मेरा भारत महान है. She says, मुझे भारत महान नहीं चाहिए, मुझे भारतीय महान चाहिए. हर भारतीय मेरा महान होना चाहिए, मुझे भारत महान नहीं चाहिए. What we have lost is the nation character. Let us not blame anybody. Let's not blame the politicians. Let's not blame this. Everybody is blaming everyone. But finally we have deteriorating with our national character. Children are absolutely going upset. Compare yourself with any developed country. Look at their national character, look at our national character, look at the Japan, look at us. We say, अरे वो तो बातें हैं, अरे वो तो डायलॉग है, अरे छोड़ो अपना धंधा करो, अपन निकलो इससे. No, we are heading for a huge destruction. As a story writer, just say, whatever you see in the first 10 minutes, you come to know that this man is going to fall in the climax. You can predict that there is going to be destruction, huge destruction. The disparity of wealth will bring a civil revolution, civil war maybe. So we have to think all this. You people are responsible citizens of this country. We must understand where we are heading for. And that was one of the reasons that I opened this film school and put all my money, everything in it. And I was going to buy a land in Panvel, and I had practically done the deal. Meanwhile, this MD of the film city called me. He says, why don't you open this? We have 500 acres land here. For what? You must open this institute here. He introduced me to CM, and I went to the CM. And only thing to benefit, our team felt, if we open in film city, we will connect our students to the film industry directly. Stars, directors, everybody would come here because they are shooting here. That was the only lalach. We said, chalo. We entered into PPE in partnership with the government. In 2000, we started spending our money. I put all my initial money, over 20 crore rupees. There, the land belonged to them. They just gave us a license to use this space. Not, they sold us land. Just, the land still belongs to them, it belonged to them. This is fine. I spent more than 85 crore rupees during these 10 years. All my earning, I am not a rich man, I am an artist. And after 10 years, the court tells us that your agreement with the government was illegal. So stop it, discontinue the institute, pay 80 crore rupees rent for the last 20 years, even for the 16 acre land which you have not been using. This was the reward for, and I started smiling. I said, okay, thodi mehnat aur karunga, I will make more money. So in this country, the problem is that we do not understand the importance of education. Finally, we went on telling them, sir, this is for the public interest, this is for the coming generation, this is the purpose, the motive. You have told us, sir, that we have not nullified anything, we have not misused the place, we have done our performances, we have brought this school as one of the top 10 schools of the world. Mr. What is the number of the top 10 schools of the world? Thanks and hats off to Rahul and Meghna, they have worked for 10 years. They worked for it. And finally, it comes to you like this. This is a story. So you can understand about the story of a boy called Subhash Ghai who came with nothing and he struggled here for 7 years and he made himself as a writer, as a director, as a producer, public relations company, to grow the company so that we can have better software, we can have a better content, better filmmakers, so that we can compete international market. Our children should make an international movie with the international sensibility to compete in Oscar, in reality, not in dreams. With all this intention and everything, my government, my people, my Indian say, क्या करें? कोर्ट ने ऑर्डर दिया है. So these are the things which are challenges to you. But I am still very strong because all these years I have been failing and I change all my failures into bigger success. Bigger success. And that is art you must know, all of us. Because we have to be spiritually strong. We have to believe what we want to believe. Good job is always a good job. And then look at me, I am speaking and you are listening and the board is here. अच्छे काम किए हैं जिनको आपने बुलाया. This is why I am here. So इससे बड़ा award क्या है? I don't think that I am a failure. I think I am a successful man. I am sharing with my children. I am sharing with all of you. You all love me. I love you all. And that's enough. And God bless you and wonderful talking to you. And I will now say good night to you. And I love you all. God bless you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you indeed. Today, I was sitting there and thinking, I've heard two most wonderful people during the day. First one, the Vice President of the United States of America, Mr. Joe Biden, this morning, and now Mr. Subhash Ghai, both of them speaking from the heart. I think we need to give him a huge round of applause, a man of great eminence and stature with us, and we are all honored as well to be having along with us this evening. Sir, thank you very much indeed. Thank you, sir. Thank you indeed.
Let me move on now. As for every event, we have a few lucky draws. Can we move to that? Read out the name, please.
Josephine Nirwan. Thank you.
Yuri Belay.
Thank you.
One of our founding members.
Ramesh Kotecha.
We have a budding actor here. He's just one movie old. He's not yet released, but it's just around the corner. Can we ask him to do the honors?
Mr. Amjad Khan Pathan.
Thank you, sir. Thank you indeed.
He's a doctor, cancer specialist. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you indeed.
If you realise it's your mobile, it'll be on the front table. Thank you. Hello, sorry, just one more announcement. I think someone's left a mobile. Anybody's mobile? you like it, my love?